Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Factorio Bob's Angels. So, bit of a random episode, no direct goal, but we do need to start working towards stereotype. Stereotype, yes. Let's not get confused by those. So, yeah, a bit of a derpy episode, bit of a mixture of things. We start off by looking at upgrading the lead smelting, because I never made it full length anyway. And we might as well just go straight to steel furnaces, because why not? So it's a mixture of me using nanobots and the base placing all that out for me. I did manually make those steel furnaces because I'm probably not going to bother making them in the factory. Yeah, so the first third of this episode is at 4 times speed because there's nothing really special going on, but there are things that need to be done in the video. And then the second 2/3 or so is at 5 times speed because I played for about an hour and 40 minutes. So it is a longer episode, sort of. It's still 20 minutes, but there's a lot more content in there. There's nearly 2 hours worth of gameplay in there because I just wanted to get stuff done in this. I didn't want it to be too dull. So it's got a fair amount of content in it. So we come and upgrade the cretinium mining to try and increase this to a rate at which we can sort continuously because we do keep running out. I didn't bring any red splitters, so I try and mess around with that, and then I do something I really don't like. I don't like doing belt braiding, but I do it here just for now because I don't have any red splitters, so we just split that up onto the 4 loader and pretty much get that running at 4 yellow belts worth of cretinium going in. So hopefully that should increase the amount of copper we've got coming in. And this episode we also start laying out our first lot of lasers. They're going in here first because this is the mining which is closest to the biters, and we get a random biter come through there and threatens our existence, but we put some turrets out just in time to deal with it. It was a bit odd there being one. I kind of found that a bit weird. I am going to be using the most basic level of substations. Why do I always struggle with the name of those? Just because we've got so many due to my lack of restriction when they were initially first set up. So we've got loads of them to use. We might as well use them on the defences rather than the medium poles. And this is a test of the lasers, and although there are one every other space, yeah, they didn't do too great there, and it made me realise that we're probably not at a high enough tier of them, and we also need to upgrade the shooting speed and damage. They're not going to be able to survive very well on their own, so I double up the placing of them there. But at least with the combination of sniper turrets, they will help to reduce the amount of ammunition being used. But yeah, we'll need to look at getting the next tier as quickly as possible. I just put a few out now because we did have a couple of stacks in total. I think I had about 2 and a bit stacks on me. We try and get a nice blueprint set out for nanobots to do it. I don't get it just right a couple of times. It does leave some gaps. I have to mess around with it a bit. But we at least start getting it in. And I'd replaced all the turrets here so that they're the highest level. We can get rid of all the damaged ones and take those back and get them upgraded in the factory to the highest level of sniper turret. The factory, I believe, is set up to use the Mark 2s or Mark 1s that are already in the system before producing any more. So this should, save us a little bit of resource because it does take quite a lot of resource to make sniper turrets. So I'm putting the laser turrets in first and then the sniper turrets in as a backup, just so that the laser turrets will be used primarily, which should hopefully save us some ammunition. And we still have the backup of the sniper turrets. As I think the sniper turrets at the moment have a longer range than the lasers. Eventually, I think the lasers are either the same or a bit more. I can't quite remember. But yeah, it's a lot stronger defense with those in. I just don't think the laser turrets are strong enough to survive on their own at the moment because we're having huge groups of behemoths coming down and attacking us, which is, it's going to be very difficult to deal with once they are entirely just behemoth biters and spitters. We'll just have to see how it goes. Although the lasers there now have doubled them up, both a thick single line and a second line. They actually did quite well against that group. So maybe we're sort of just at the point where they're only just about good enough. But we leave to get out the seek and destroy range and hope that's going to be enough to defend that area. Now we've increased the mining, which will increase the pollution crowd and pollution crowd, and thus will increase the number of biters and spitters. We'd also forgot to place a power pole to carry the power across there, so the whole time we were down there, the smelting area had pretty much been shut off apart from steel, which is a little bit annoying, but oh well. We'll continue. I also mess around here, just getting all the damaged turrets I had repaired by the factory, and then get the factory to clean them up, stick them in the logistics system, and they can be upgraded by the production there for us. So the next part, we're going to start working towards getting stereotypes. So there is some biter slaying. So another thing we're doing this episode is just pushing out some more radar. I believe I placed a new radar over at the Crotinium area, and we're also going to push them out down in the stereotype patch and down at the wall near the big red blob, which is also growing. We did look at the map a little bit earlier, and that is still forming down there, so we're going to have to deal with that. I'm also going to want to put some more radars further out up in the north at the Sapphirite and try and get something in the northeast, because we haven't really scanned in that direction very much. We kind of want to scan out in every direction and find the nearest Rubite patch. I still can't see one anywhere. It's very concerning, but we'll find one, and it's going to be a pretty extreme amount of biter slaying to get to it, because if we can't even see it yet where we've scanned, there's just tons of biters in every direction. But I'm going to try and work out the quickest way to getting some power armor, or armor at least strong enough where I can deal with a reasonable sized base just on my own. But now we're on Behemoths, I need a pretty good power suit just to not die instantly. The only way I've survived so far is with turret creeping, which I'm not a massive fan of, but it's kind of been the only way I've been able to play this scenario. So we come down here and start having a look at pushing out in this direction. We've got a nice bottleneck here that we can use, but it's a bit of an awkward spacing to have the rails come in, so I do deliberate that quite a bit in the episode, and it's one of the reasons that contributed to it taking so long to record this episode, hence why it's in a much quicker speed. We're now in the 5x speed footage, just because you've seen this all before, but I want to keep it in the video, and I just want to get it all over and done with. So we start working our way over to the stereotype. Biter pushing has never been this hard before. This is the hardest it's been, and I'm right on the... To begin with, it's okay, but as I start to lose a few turrets, I do miss a few placing them out, and they do get destroyed. So as I get less and less, this does get a lot harder, and towards the end of the episode, I'm getting some pretty sticky situations with the biter slaying. But this is going a lot quicker at 5x speed. It's probably... I don't think I've done any 5x speed yet. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, there's going to be more episodes like this where I'm doing huge amounts of biter slaying. It's going to be great when I have a flamethrower and some power armor, and possibly some destroyer drones as well. We're going to be able to clear huge swaths of biters. So this will be less and less of a thing that we have to sit through and watch. Once I have some power armor and a flamethrower, it's going to go nice and quickly. I'll probably always speed biter slaying up quite a lot more than normal gameplay, because yeah, it starts to become a bit of a repetitive thing. But yeah, we've already got the stereotype on the screen there, popping up there down in the southwest. We take a bit of a risk there, taking up all the turrets to jump through the trees, because they do get in the way of placement. And we come and start clearing over the patch itself, and I'll then work my way out from here. We are doing research while doing all of this. We might as well get some research done and have the factory doing stuff, because we've been pretty lacking on research lately, so it's good to get some of that and keep it going. Although we are still on a bit of a shortage of certain resources, especially lead and tin. We're going to be using quite a bit of lead and tin doing research, which we're going to be having very little of coming through soon. But my plan to deal with that is Bodmonium's not too far off, so that'll sort out a tin issue, and we'll increase the amount of slag slurry production. I believe we're now processing more slag than we're producing, so we should be able to slowly work through that stockpile. That can all go into making lead and tin, and we'll probably start slag or slurrying, whatever the process is called, for crushed stone, so that we can actually get some more out of the crushed stone. It's a great way to use it up, and we'll have slag slurry coming from both methods, and just have that area produce lead and tin. In my last one, I did get it to make a lot of... My last playthrough, sorry, I did get it to make a lot of gold. It was quite handy for that. I can't remember what I got it making at the end. Might have gone back to iron and copper, because I think we were getting enough of everything else. But we're going to have to look at all the processes of ore sorting and see which ones we get lead from, because tin isn't going to be a problem, like I said, once we get some bodmonium. There's a patch near us here, and there's a patch where the bus is pushing out to. So that's not going to be a problem. It's going to be the rubite. If we can't find any on the map, we're going to have to get lead via other means. But I do want to get the factory making the last tiers of resources, and we can get up to power armor as quickly as we can. While we're doing all of that, there is a pretty severe attack up at the Sapphirite. Sapphirite is the next place I want to get laser turrets in, but as we're not producing them at a hugely massive rate due to the lack of certain circuits and down to the lack of copper, I'm going to have to do this probably next episode or the episode after. But yeah, this is going to benefit from having some lasers in, because we can start mining the whole patch. I do have a load of Mark IIs in here just to clear up all of the normal patches. All of those are covering infinite ones, so we'll just have to make sure we do get all of the normal patches. But we make this as quick as possible so that we can get back to our goal and hopefully get it done this episode. Chivolite is another one that's coming through quite slowly, so we're going to need to look up setting a second Chivolite mining area. There is a couple of patches up near the Sapphirite, so we could push out there and also start scanning that northeast. Of course, inevitably, that does involve a whole lot more biter slaying, which is a bit annoying. But we come and grab some ammo and some more turrets, and we head back down once we've cleared out a load of the artifacts. And I just have a quick look to see what's involved in getting the next worker robot speed and capacity, which is going to require the next science, the yellow one. I haven't actually looked in detail to what we need to produce the yellow science. Got a feeling it's going to need the next level of circuits, so that's going to be something we're going to be doing very soon. Is once we have the stereotype coming in, we can look at getting the next level of research going, because once we've got this coming in, we'll have the 4 main ores being processed, and hopefully that's going to be enough copper for us. Although, yeah, the shortfall's going to be lead. It's going to be a bit of a problem, but we'll just see how it goes, I guess. So we've nearly cleared all the bases that I wanted to do for us to be able to mine the stereotype. We're going to have to put in a lot of turrets. We'll put something in a bit more permanent than we did for the Sapphirite, but eventually this whole area will just be cleared, and we'll be using all the bottlenecks that we managed to scan out. So I look at start clearing the area and contemplating putting in some rail, but I put in a load of turrets just around, just to stop any bases from forming directly around here. But we'll have a combination of laser turrets and sniper turrets to defend this area. I'll also continue to increase the amount of solar and accumulator. That's the only thing I did before this episode. After the last one, literally all I've done is just to add a load more solar panels and accumulators as we're putting out laser turrets. Now we need to make sure we never run out of power, because I don't want to be losing any laser turrets. They're a bit expensive at the moment, but it does mean we're not going to be throwing resources at the biters to kill them anymore. We're just going to be shooting them with the power of their own star, which is just great, really. Free death for us. So we come and have a look at the file train just to see if we've got everything we need, and there's a case of the inserters getting stuck on certain items. I still haven't gone and replaced the requested chest to request an individual item. I kind of don't want to have to. I know it does work when they're fully upgraded, so I just replace them to start inserting stuff again. And we also get some landfill placed in, because we are going to need a little bit. I don't want to use too much. I could just plow straight across the lake and go straight to the patch, but I think that's a bit cheaty, really. We should have a line running fairly neatly. It'll also give us access to thermal water, so we'll be able to do lithia soon, which we need for the next level of batteries, and that is also required for the next level of laser turrets, so we can start working towards that. We get a T-junction placed in here. I don't really want to go up to where the crude oil is and then come back down again. We'll go straight across here, but this does give us access, like I just said, to the thermal water and a small crotinium patch, so we could maybe set that up next episode and have the train just going to one crotinium patch, then the other. I don't think there's any point in having 2 trains for such a small bunch of patches. I also run out of landfill there. We didn't actually pick up anywhere near enough, so I come back to look at getting some more of that. I leave the train there to fill up while we just go and grab some more resources from the factory. We've got a few more sniper turrets. But one thing I missed out here, I didn't pick up any ammunition. I wish I had, because looking at my inventory just then, we haven't got very much at all. And while we're up here, we do get quite a lot of attacks in one of the little bottlenecks. It is a bottleneck that's going to be covered up by the defenses we put in soon. We're going to be moving that wall forward, so I'm not massively fussed about it, but it's just a few turrets lost. But once this new defense is in, just wide enough for the rails to squeeze through, that particular one that just got attacked isn't going to be needed anymore. There is another one next to it that is going to continue to be needed. I'll have to upgrade it because the biter bases just up from it will be within the pollution, so they will get attacked regularly. So we'll need to get some more laser turrets in there. We just kind of have to wait for the factory to produce them for us. I quickly also come and upgrade the steel because that is now our bottleneck in the factory. It's what's slowing things down. So I get that upgraded as well. I haven't put in the double belts at the moment, but I'll tidy that up at another point. I kind of want to focus on getting this line into the stereotype. I did have a look at the map for quite a bit there to try and work out where I want it, and I put in a sacrilegious diagonal line. I'm not a massive fan of diagonal lines, but we're not missing out on anything there. There's no point putting it in straight just because I'm fussy. And that gets us down and lined up to come nicely past the thermal patches. I think there's only 2 here, but it's the closest one. It'll be enough to begin with, and we'll look at getting some more thermal water stations put in. There's another thermal patch just to the east of here. I come back after taking the sniper turrets out. It was a bit silly. I come back and I put in some laser turrets just to hold this wall, and this is the point I realised that I hadn't picked up any more ammo, and I have barely any ammunition on me at all. So I have to mess around and head back yet again to go and pick that up. I do request a few things. I do try and request a Mark III locomotive to try and speed file up, because although this is at 5 times speed, at normal speed file's pretty slow at the moment, and I can at least speed it up a bit by putting that second train with an upgraded locomotive. I might even take the file train out and stick a Mark III locomotive in and use the module instead. The only reason I ever created that was because I had some weird issue a while back. I can't remember exactly what it was, something to do with the blueprints, but it was just me being stupid at the end of the day. There was nothing wrong with file. So just to get it running a bit quicker, I'll probably replace that first locomotive with a Mark III engine and just stick a module in it. So we come and grab all the available ammunition we have. I think I also increased the restriction there because I'm never quite picking up enough ammo whenever I come down here. And weirdly, the train decides to go around the loop and not on the straight on bit. I wasn't pressing any directions when that happened. But we come and look at pushing out a few more bases that we'll need to do to have the wall where I want it. We don't want it to be too close to biter bases because they just attack relentlessly and just rinse all the ammunition. Or if we're going to be putting lasers in, it'll just remove our ability to charge accumulators in the day, and we'll run out of power, and there'll be all sorts of horrible destruction that we don't want. But yeah, this wall is only going to be semi-permanent. Eventually, like I said earlier, all this area is going to be all cleared. So once that's been done, we can take all of this out. So this only needs to be good enough to survive until that happens. But yeah, we could do with some more laser turrets. We don't quite have enough. And we don't exactly have enough sniper turrets either. But I push out the minimum I need to start laying this wall out. Can't remember exactly which point of the episode it happened, but at some point we ran out of our brass axe. And at the start of the episode, I did actually pick some polished diamonds to get a diamond pickaxe, which is absolutely lovely now. It's almost like a paint brush in paint. I can just paste turrets out and delete them just as quickly as I can paste them out. It's great. So it means we can rip wall up like this extremely quickly. It's very satisfying jumping straight to the diamond ones. It's one of the reasons why I got all the cutting set up, so that's another handy thing to have. I think diamond's the top pickaxe, so we've now got the best one we can have. I just picked those up at the start of the episode and made them and had them in my inventory because I only had 2 brass pickaxes left at the start of the episode, so I knew I was going to run out at some point with all this turret pushing. And we start placing the wall out just far out enough for the track to squeeze down past the Crotinium and the Stereotype, but these laser turrets are a bit too close to a base up there, so I do need to look at pushing that base out because it's just going to get attacked constantly, and if we're not generating enough power in the day, it's just going to deplete our solar panels eventually, which isn't great. I also placed the laser turrets out. I've got to stop doing that. Place the laser turrets out 2 next to each other with a gap of 1 turret, just to try and get this out, get this wall as long as we need it, because we don't quite have enough laser turrets on us. It's also a good test of whether we've got enough solar panels and accumulators, which I believe we do. It's night time at the moment, and we managed to survive all these relentless attacks up here. But I come and look at trying to push this base back a little bit more because it's still too close. If a biter or a spitter sways too close to a turret, it picks it off and then it triggers the whole base to attack. And if you don't get rid of them in enough time, those attacks then trigger more attacks, and it just causes a continuous wave of biters to continuously come and deplete all of our power. So we come and push this base out as well because it's a little bit too close to the wall for my liking. We have got a very limited number of turrets on us, so it is a bit precarious at this point, and we carry on placing the wall out, just placing a full thick row just to get our spacing right. Then we take every other one out, and then I put in one next to it, which is hopefully going to be enough to hold. I'll need to put some sniper turrets in just to help back this area up, just in case we run out of power. Also move these back a bit so that more of the same turret can engage anything coming down there, because that is a bit of a weakness on the wall. We come back down to try and finish this bit, and there were a group of biters trying to sneak through, but we managed to get them before they run off, because of course there's no defences back there now. There's also that little gap that has nothing in, so they could go and wreak a little bit of havoc. We place out a couple of sniper turrets because we've now run out of laser turrets, and those walls are almost finished. We just need to bring the track down to the patch next episode and get that mining set up and just back up those walls with a bit of sniper turrets. But between episodes, I'll let sniper turrets and laser turrets buffer quite a bit. We'll make sure we've got more than enough next episode, and I spend the last bit of the episode just having another scan of the map just to check and see if we haven't missed any rubite patches, as that's going to be our next biggest concern for the factory. So next episode we can get that station all finished up, but that's going to be all we have time for this episode. Do hope you have enjoyed watching, and please do come and join me next time. Bye bye.